Hello, everyone. Let's head into Let's Go Help 2. All right, here we are. There's been some new activity since I was on this page, so we'll click this button to see what's happened recently. And, oh, someone's in an uncomfortable set of shoes in New York, but we definitely have some great resources. Looks like Julio's already on the job. So awesome. All right, everybody. Here we are. Let's Go Help 2 on Mighty Network. On a phone, to expose this contents menu, you'll need to click either Matthew Lesko's profile picture or the white 3-bar horizontal menu, typically located in the upper or lower left-hand sides of your phone screen. Once you expose that contents menu, I really strongly encourage you to close up these internal contents menu pieces. As they're beautiful, they are also distracting. So if you locate the upper collection tab that does not have a colorful icon, instead it has a little drop-down menu, an arrow, a triangle, whatever you see that as, right next to a fancy arrow and a capital title, nothing in lowercase. So we're going to click that little drop-down menu. On each of those, we're looking for that fancy arrow, the capital letters, and that drop-down menu. Click, fancy arrow, click, and close all those internal content pieces because it makes it much more easy to see the overall structure that we're putting together for you. Julia May is such an amazing organizer, and she has so many different ways to make things clear and visually appealing at the same time. So when you see the overall pattern and you see this is your get started area, into your grant news, then into community news, an overall place for you to ask your questions. If you're not sure where else to go, you can always jump into the Ask Questions Here collection. And the newest area that that I'm really proud of, even though I didn't put it together, I'm so proud of this beautiful piece that Matthew has guided Julia May into building. It is just so beautiful. And I encourage you to join each of the different topic areas that are applicable to your life and start using these step-by-step guides to get you truly so much further on the way to each individual success you're looking for. We have always provided the resources and we've always provided the support and the encouragement, but many people felt confused, overwhelmed, and not really sure what to do with the resources that they had been provided. This is different than that. This is a step-by-step listed right there for you with beautiful, short but detailed explanations about what you're going to be interacting with. And then during the calls for those topic spaces, we'll be focusing on how to utilize those step-by-step guides. So I just believe 100% that if you felt that you were never going to gain success, these are going to change your trajectory. They're going to help you find the methods that you have been lacking to get further on that journey to success. I truly believe that. So please go in and check those out. Today's meeting is hosted out of the live meetings collection, out of the teaching session space. This is any class that had been going previously before we started working with the Unlock Your Goals collection, and they still are topic-based. So, for instance, this is Country Living and Business with Sabrina. It's going to have an agricultural, rural base. There are also business, AI, nonprofit, business, and overall grants from Megan P., as well as credit and debt with Megan P. So there's some excellent classes in here. They just don't have a dedicated space. These are so much more than just the classes, as beautiful and helpful as those have been. They're so amazing. Every one of our hosts is just so supportive, so encouraging, so good at what they do. And now we're going to build spaces around these topics so that you have more than just a few scattered topics throughout the week. You're going to have very dedicated assistance for each topic. It's just so amazing, all right? But still definitely worth checking out classes such as this, okay? Followed by that, anything that was not in a topic-based space or teaching sessions, you're going to find an accountability meetup, coffee and grants with Michelle, learn about grants with Uchenna. Charity has an ADHD, how shall I put this? Her class helps people overcome challenges in the grant hunting world that come with things like ADHD, OCD, anxiety disorder. And she wanted to help be a partner in accountability as well as teach people how to be accountable. So she wanted to go in accountability meetup. It's a little bit of an exception to the rule. It's a topic-based class that is an accountability meetup. So very cute. Lots of cute personalities providing different perspectives and different ways of explaining the material. I think that's just so beautiful and such a valuable part of our community, because you never know how saying it just a little bit different is going to reach someone who has just been confused, and all of a sudden their light bulb goes off because they listen to a different person explain the same basic idea. And that's really how we work. We will find someone that speaks more of our style of language, and we can understand better what they're trying to explain with us. And so with so many different wonderful hosts for you to interact with, I feel like everyone will find at least one, if not two or three or more hosts that they really click with and understand what they're explaining and like the way they present the material. So please check out all of our different calls, classes, and sessions, because they're all amazing. Continuing on, of course, you have Lesko grants. That's all of our grant applications. The grant winners, our new U.S. regions hubs. I did reorganize this since all of the staff and volunteers that got together on Tuesday did agree that they would prefer to have the state reports first. Once you jump into each region, you're going to land right on those state reports, know each area that's being covered in this particular region, and you can ask your questions and get the news, but you originally will land on the tab that contains that mini state grant report that is such a valuable piece of information for every member to access, okay? Finally, again, the We Care. We've revamped the about the team space. You'll definitely know by the background whether you're dealing with a staff member, a volunteer, a member, or of course Matthew, who has his own special color. Members will not have a colored background. They'll have the portraits or pictures, images, avatars that you each have chosen. And then you'll be able to know it's either volunteer staff or, of course, Matthew, because we're going to have that colored background behind our face. All right. Then Lesko Reports is still here. I would encourage you, if you enjoy any of these areas, to go in and make use of them. Make sure you access all the reports so that you can always jump into your Google Drive, which you'll have to get the app for on your phone if you have an Apple, maybe even on an Android, but more likely you'll already have some of the Google apps at least. So in a browser, you'll want, let me make it look a little more like Google. You want to locate your 9-dot menu. In your phone, you need to get into your app menu, see if you have it. If not, download Google Drive, click that 9-dot menu, access your Google Drive. And then once you are in your Google Drive, you want to access your Shared With Me folder. That Shared With Me folder is going to contain any Lesko report that you have ever pulled up. It will be here. You may have to do some scrolling. We have a lot of material in our community. And as you can see, mine is primarily filled with Lesko material as well. And there's a lot of it out there. So it's still always here for you though. If you've ever pulled the report up in your own Google Docs, that's what's going to happen when you pull up. Let's take Massachusetts this time as an example. Read through these wonderful explanations Julia has built about how to make use of these reports. Again, a lot of people didn't know what to do with the report once it was handed to them. This gives you some guidance here. You'll want to click download your report. What that actually means is you're pulling it up into your Google Doc. This is not my doc. As you see, I would have to request edit access. That will be what it looks like for all of you. However, it is a public document. It is set to the viewer level so that anybody who has the link can view this doc. And when you pull that up, it then is in your Google Drive Shared With Me folder. And I doubt if it's going to be at the top. I've definitely already pulled up all of the state mini grant reports. So I don't know exactly how the system works back here. Yes, it didn't change. I would still have to search, but I could say Connecticut. And then I have the large mini grant reports from the old, let me just see, is this the new one? No, this is the new one. So it was right there at the top. That's the mini state grant report for Connecticut. And all I had to do was search Connecticut in my Shared With Me folder, and it pulled it right up for me, and a variety of others, of course. All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we just covered so that you can make use of this beautiful new system that's being built for us? Please go ahead, raise your hand, shout it out. I really want to make sure you guys are comfortable navigating these new pieces. Please go ahead, whoever is unmuted. Check that out. We'll go ahead and just mute those as it doesn't seem they're wanting to say something. I hope that's because you really understand where to find what you need. I would really rather have you ask a question if you don't understand any of what I just covered. I did it a little quickly because I've been doing it pretty much with every class. I really want you guys to see how to make use of this system so that you can make the most of your Let's Go Help membership, because I really believe in this system that's being built for us. It's the pinnacle, man. It's the peak of the mountain. This is the best. It's just so amazing, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and jump. Go ahead.
I was with you. I was with you guys maybe a couple of years ago, and this system is great, you know. And you know, I joined with the $1 again, so you know, I'll be staying.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
This
Do be
system
aware.
Is awesome.
When your trial ends, it's going to switch to an automatic subscription. Okay.
Just okay. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm so glad you're liking it. Tell us a bit about what you witnessed it, I'm guessing, on Facebook when we used to have a group on Facebook. We no longer do.
Oh, wow. You know, it was just antiquated, maybe is the best word. You guys have got a lot of new controls and stuff in there, and it's so much easier. You know, you can go through and, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory. And then with you guys, with all the trainings and everything else, you know, it's really great. You know, I really appreciate it and everything that you guys do.
I'm so glad. Thank you. Who are we talking to?
Linda Smith.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. It's so nice to hear that. And I hope everybody's really beginning to feel that way. That's what I feel as well. I was beginning in Facebook. It took almost a year, 6 months. Matthew put out Let's Go Help 2, and then it took me another 6 months to figure out how to get in there. Once I got in, I just fell in love with Mighty Networks as a platform to host anything, really. It's just amazing. And then now incorporating this step-by-step system that Julia May is building under Matthew's grand vision, I really can't see how it could get much better. I think it's pretty amazing, everyone. All right. So we're going to jump into our class for the night. That is Country Living in Business in our live meeting collection. I'll click that drop-down arrow. You can see the live icon letting you know that this is the particular space that has a call, class, or session going on. This one would be a class. All right, as you see, it's right here on that first tab so that you can find all of those style of Zoom meetings. All right, and then we're going to jump into this next tab over. We're in the Join a Live Q&A, and we're going to Community Answers right next to that. And then in the next one over, you will find the replays for all of these classes, as well as documents that they've built to support what they're doing. I do have a few myself. Amber does a lot of really nice documentation with her All About Business. All right, everybody. This is where I'll leave your answers in these Share What's on Your Mind text fields. I'll type up the answer that you and I built together, and then I will walk you through how to get that if any of this process is confusing to you. So the way you raise your hand here in these live Zoom meetings is to locate that toolbar that came with class. If you're on a phone, you may need to tap the screen, swipe left or right, and maybe tap it again. Once you've located that toolbar, you want to look to the far left side where you'll see a microphone with a red line through it. That's called audio. Go with your eyes to about the middle of that screen where many of you will have a big red heart. If you have that big red heart, click that. That's reactions. You'll see the raise your hand feature and a variety of other reactions you can take. If not, continue on with your eyes to the far right side where you should have either a 3-dot menu, a 3-dot more menu, or a more menu. Click that. You'll see the reactions tab. Click that. You'll see the raise your hand feature and a variety of other reactions. I don't have a tremendous lecture plan tonight. I'd love to answer your questions about country living. I'm really diving into it myself. I have been doing so much in my little property over the last week and a half. I am now literally going to be dealing with about 2.5 to 3 tons worth of dirt and soil, meaning dirt has no living components to it. It's not capable of supporting life as it is, up to different classes of soil. C, B, and A were tending more towards that C. Some of it was actually close to topsoil that had been trucked in and placed up on the upper level of our property. But now we're going to do the digging in and start really working with the property itself. I did have a visit from USDA, and she's not going to be able to help me as much as I had thought from the way that she had explained them. She was more open-ended. In the end, it turns out that they're really more for irrigation and wind tunnels. So with me doing a Wally Peony, which is a partially submerged greenhouse, because the winds are so severe, something like a high tunnel, which is essentially a curved structure that has plastic sheeting over it, that would be destroyed probably before the end of the first season out here. It's just not a practical structure. I don't like plastic anyway, and that stuff just ends up shredding and becoming nasty and hard to clean up. I'm trying to go towards the sustainable way, so that's just not a good idea for me. However, I've been thinking about it, and while initially I said that I didn't see how irrigation would help me because I'm not looking to get water rights, I am going to reach out to her and ask her if it's possible that she could help me with putting in the sprinkler system here, which is technically, yes, irrigation, and I am doing it for even commercial agricultural purposes. It will take me a year or two to be able to start producing the, well, produce that I need in order to become a truly agricultural producer, which opens me up to other grants and grant-like opportunities. However, I don't see why sprinklers, whether they're called sprinklers or you have irrigation in the field, it's still a sprinkler system. So I am going to see if she can help with purchasing the materials for the sprinkler system itself, and perhaps even to have an electrician come in and set up the timing and things on that. So never give up, even when you've at one point eliminated a moment of a resource, right? Because these resources are constantly changing in fluctuation. You want to keep remembering that thought, and can I make my plans work into what they're offering in some way legitimately, right? We always want to be upfront, honest. We never want to break any laws because that'll cost you a lot more than it gains you initially, right? But is there some way that my project can be termed to make it legally fit with what they're offering? So I do have hope that they may be able to help me with the irrigation costs, which is one of the things that I'll be doing next. I'm also going to reach out to Robin Sadler, who is one of the contact points for my area here in Tooele, and a woman named Jennifer Hornberg. I have spoken with Robin Sadler before. I've never spoken with Jennifer Hornberg, I think. They're really wanting to help. So I'm going to reach out to them again, show them where I'm at with my project, see if they can help with any of these other things. It's all, as you know, about making the time to do it. I'm stupendously busy with the garden, dealing with the business that is the garden, helping with all of the things that I'm a part of here in Lesko Help Too. That takes up the majority of my time. I have to film for my business. Like, there's so much going on in all of our lives that we have to carve that time out to look for the grant and grant-like opportunities that are out there. And I have not carved out the time to call these ladies. I also need to make the time to just type a text up to USDA to ask her if my new thought process around irrigation and sprinklers will possibly apply to what they offer. I also want to just keep her in the loop. She was really interested in what we're doing here, and she had a lot of people in her network that she thought might be interested in joining my community to become content creators, which is something that I really need. So I want to keep working with her, even though she wasn't able in the moment to provide me with any resources. She's a constant contact that has access not only to the resources that her own particular area of the USDA is offering, all of these other types of institutions and programs and organizations that are offering different types of agricultural support. So it's something I want to maintain, right? I'll probably send her a card at some point, just do something nice. She was really interested, wants to know how these things are going. So I'm going to keep her aware of the bigger stages, not just bother her constantly with everything I'm doing, but every month or couple months, just send out some information about what we've been up to after seeing, of course, if she's able to help with the irrigation system, right? All right. Any questions about any of that, anyone? It's really,
Miss Sabrina?
yes, Miss Tammy.
Yeah, we do have a hand up.
Thank you, God. Thank
I
you.
believe, I think I want to say Natalie or Natalie.
Natalia, maybe?
Yes, is a nice name.
Yes, Natalia, thank you so much.
Very
I
well.
apologize for the late entry. My mom came in, I had to give her a kiss, and I was like, Mama, class started. So I came in hearing about the greenhouse. That's where I started with the conversation. So are these grants to build something like a greenhouse, or if you're just
There
interested
are.
in growing agriculture? Because I would be very interested. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. I actually live in Henry County. I don't have acreages of land, so I don't know how that would work. Like, is there a
I don't
certain amount
either.
of,
I
oh,
have a little bit less than a quarter of an acre here on my residential plot. And that doesn't matter as long as I produce $1,000 worth of income through my agricultural pursuits for 3 years. I become an agricultural producer officially. Each state will have their own determinations, but I'm sure it won't be this outrageous number.
and so will that be the link for this? Will that be dropped in the chat? Because I would be very interested.
Okay, so I wasn't ever given a link. It was a conversation that I had. So let's see if we can find something that documents. So you're in Georgia, okay. But let's actually go to Gemini for this. I work with Gemini the most. This is my particular AI preference here. And a lot of people prefer ChatGPT, Perplexity, some of these others. I find that I work so much across the board with Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Sheets. I have a Google phone. Not only is it an Android, it is literally a Google phone. And I have Google Wi-Fi. How do I want to? Google phone privileges, whatever. 5G, yay. I have all of that on my phone through Google. When I was in Magna, Utah, I also had internet for my home through Google Fiber. This is Google Fi. When you have a Google phone, it's Google Fi. When you have internet to your home, it's Google Fiber, right? Like they're relatively newer. It was beyond and above all other internets I have ever interacted with, and I'm so hopeful that they make it over here to Tooele because everything just worked so well for us. The classes at that point just flew. I could upload everybody's classes so quickly. It was amazing. Now, as you may be aware, we're very behind in getting the classes uploaded. It takes me a tremendous amount of time for each individual class. It's really ridiculous. I can't really do a whole lot else while I'm doing it because it could stop it and I could have to start the whole process over again. So we're going to be spreading out some of the things like that that I'm doing so that I'm better able to answer your questions as I'm almost 2 weeks out. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on behind the background to try to get us into a better position to more rapidly answer all of your questions wherever they may be, right? And there's a lot of work going on, guys. So we know that you're waiting and we apologize, and we're working very hard to provide realistic, practical, long-term solutions that allow us to more rapidly deal with all of the things that we are dealing with when we're interacting with our wonderful community. All right. So here in Gemini, I work through all of these different Google platforms, and I've also worked with Gemini about our particular community a lot. So Gemini is already aware of what we do, and I don't have to preface anything. Did you say you were in what part of Georgia? Was it Atlanta?
I'm in Henry County and
Henry?
McDonough. Hmm.
Mixed.
Thank
Say it
you.
again.
McDonough.
Can you spell that?
McDoughgh, I believe. Is that right? Well, UGH.
No O, no second O, like this?
Another O.
Another O.
DONOUGH.
DONO. Okay. DONO.
UGH.
Okay. Does that look better?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a member in Henry County, McDonough. I don't know how to pronounce that either. McDonough. It's a kind of a strange word, specifically, and she would like to know what the USDA criteria is to become a recognized agricultural producer, meaning specifically somebody that is producing in agriculture, and the Gemini understands that that's very specific. Can you please create a step-by-step guide to familiarize her with the process for her area? This is a new thing I'm kind of asking Gemini to do, so we're testing it out right now. Okay. Interesting. I'm getting my definition from the Natural Resources Conservation Service. So perhaps the Farm Service Agency has a different set of criteria. That's really interesting. And I have all of this information in another set of tabs. Essentially, they're just the tabs that go along with these explanations, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and save this because it's kind of nice. And then I can take this list and I can plug in each of the pieces that I have in my tabs, and I can close out my tabs. So this is going to be useful, but it isn't going to be useful in the sense that we're going to have an answer for you today. What it's essentially telling us is you need to determine what type of agriculture it is that you want to pursue, and then you need to talk to the coordinator or mentor or administrator or whatever the case may be, contact that entity and find out what their specific designation is for your type of agriculture. Does that make sense, Natalia?
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, that's clear to you? Or no, not so much? Please
So
tell
I
me.
screenshotted everything
So
because
I'm
that's
gonna copy this, right?
oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
copy this and share this for you. Don't worry about that part, right?
Okay. And for me to reach out to my local
Well, first you've
person.
got to determine what type of agricultural producer you would want to be. So what are you interested in? You said you're kind of just interested in it all. So give me some of what your interests are in the growing world, or animal husbandry, as it's called, in the ranching side, farming and ranching. What kind of things are interesting to you?
Well, I love plants. I love this YouTube channel called Garden Answers. I'm just so obsessed. So I look a lot at plant YouTubes, but she also grows things. So I try to grow things. I try. I've
I hear
successfully
that.
killed orange trees, lemon trees have died, but I feel like if I can make tweaks and learn how to do it, and more than likely probably have that greenhouse, I can do my seedlings. She kind of walks us through that, but I just don't have that type of space where I can start seedlings and things of that nature. So I would love to do some just non-GMO produce, maybe add in some silica. I don't know if that's the best product to use while growing things. I have a
It all
huge
depends
bag of
on,
diatomaceous
yeah.
earth for some reason,
Diatomaceous
so
earth is a different thing. It's a wonderful
right.
thing. I have a bag of it as well. I have really bad dust mite allergies. They can just put me like right below anaphylactic shock. I literally, my throat closes off some, my eyes try to close off. I get really, really bad. But I don't
Mm,
ever need like an EpiPen or anything. It's just like right before that, but it's
mhm,
horrible. So I put diatomaceous earth in my bed because it's a crystalline structure of some sea life from millions of years ago that
mhm.
died and left this structure of themselves behind. And it's very sharp for small organisms like an ant, or dust mite, which is a microscopic creature. It's really kind of sad. It cuts them all over until they like exsanguinate or bleed out. But
Wow. Yes.
it's a little brutal, but nature is brutal, and it's not a chemical process. It's the more natural process. You need to be aware that you
Mhm.
don't want to breathe this stuff in. I wear a mask when I'm putting it onto my bed and some different things like that. Make sure you have food grade, know what you're doing when you're doing these things. But that is one of the ways I make use of diatomaceous earth. If you needed to stop ants, anywhere you might have used Ajax, That was what my
Mm-hmm.
former mother-in-law would tell me to put Ajax. Well, instead of putting out Ajax, you can put out diatomaceous furs. And so
Okay.
you need to be knowing what you're doing though. So do some research on how best to apply it for each of these purposes. Make sure that you have that mask, that you're not leaving it in an area that's going to create a lot of dust with it, some different things like that, right? Or you might want to put it in a different way where you're dealing with it. And then there's plenty of information on that out there. So I'm sorry, my dear, how do you spell, or what is your last name so that we can tag you?
Pack, P as in Paul, ACK.
Oh, yeah, there you are. All right, wonderful.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so this is the information from Gemini. And I'm going to actually put the Gemini link here so that you could access Gemini itself if you wanted to. Now, I'm actually going to take this and put this in a document with my, okay, my last tab set here. I'm going to bring up a doc and I'm going to print that there, and I'm going to take, I have pieces in a couple of these different tabs here that are going to actually slide right into that document so that we can put that up, and instead of all these crazy tabs, we'll have a document that has a list with explanations of what all of these different entities in these tabs do. It's going to be brilliant, guys. I love it. So thank you for the question, Natalia. Really good piece. Okay, let me just put this in here so that I don't forget.
And thank you for the guidance, because it is a little confusing as to like which way I would like to lean. I kind of don't know, but coming to like a class like this is very helpful so I can get that together, because I don't have that together. That piece I don't know.
Oh, there are going to be so many pieces as you're coming into this world. There are so many different coordinators and mentors in that world that you can interact with. I'm actually going to share beginning farmer and rancher coordinator with you, because that's just kind of an overview. And then you can start talking to them, say, you know, I just have this passion for plants and organic growing, and I really don't know how I want to approach this, and get a mentor that helps you walk through that process. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. There we go. Okay. So it is my farming and ranching coordinator. When I talked about Robin Sadler, it's my farming and ranching coordinator. I can never remember where she's coming from. Okay, so Georgia, here we go. Amelia Dorch, something like that. Here's your first part. That's the answer from Gemini. Then we have your contact here for your farming and ranching coordinator, as well as the overall link to the farming and ranching coordinator so that you can walk back and look that over and just check out anything else that you might want to on that site. We will be building out a rural space, rural and pets, right? Agriculture and animals that will be replacing this country living and business. That's going to have a step-by-step guide. And this is going to already be so helpful to Julia May to put in here as she takes Matthew's overall vision and she understands how she wants to make that look, but then she doesn't really understand what we do in here. She doesn't have time to learn American grant and grant-like opportunities when she's over in Belgium and has her own community and her own clients and things like this that she's working with. So then giving her these pieces makes it easier for her to put these spaces together. So this is going to be great. All right. All of that is there for you. So that is who I would recommend you reach out and start forming with this Amelia Dorch relationship, and just talking to her, talking about how much space you do have, just a bunch of different things like that. And if you would like some support in that process, right? We support you here in the Grant and Grant Lake resources, but I have an agricultural community, and that's all in my little unit there. You can check all of that out. There's a free membership for Lesko Help members. The lifetime free membership, you're saving either $50 a month or $500 a year. So definitely a great free value for our wonderful Lesko Help community. And then you can come in and I can talk to you about what you can do in a limited space. This isn't the right venue for that. Over there, I can talk about all of that and take the time with you to walk you through all the different choices you might have for your limited space. Okay. Is there anything else that we can provide you in the moment? I feel like kind of reaching out and talking to Amelia Dorch is going to get you on the right footing there. And then you can also come in and look at these other areas that you can see what the descriptions are to see if you want to reach out to other agencies. As there's agencies, conservation service, this is a marketing service, right? You have your USDA service center. I don't have this one. I wasn't aware of this one here. So that's really interesting because this is something that I really do need. And so maybe they have some help for me. That's why putting these step-by-step guides together, you're going to have a lot of these pieces in the new agriculture and animal topic space. There'll be a step that has a list of all the different kinds of mentors and counselors that there are out in the agricultural world, and there are so many. It has more than any other that I've seen that are kind of open to most people. There are multiple different types of mentors, and there will be some that are generalized, open to just anybody, but then a lot of times we're going more towards like veterans, women, minorities, underserved communities, rural as being the underserved community, then urban as being the underserved community. There's all these different specific categories. The overall agricultural community has a lot more opportunity for everyone, just as a group. Like they're like, we want everybody to come on in. We don't care who you are, just come in and we're going to figure this out. And you want to be country. And so I've lived in cities and country off and on all of my life. I love them both. I exist happily in both, but I do enjoy working with soil. And of course, it's harder to work with soil if you're not in a more country locale. So that's where I'm at. All right. Is there anything else that we can provide for you in the moment, Shalia?
No, this is actually really perfect. And I would love that connection to the individual who would be the representative for my area. I know you
Yes.
said you put it in for me. And did you say you could reach out as well, or did I misunderstand?
If you wanted to come into the community that I'm offering to you guys for free as Lesko Help, my own mighty network, I can work with you about things like the small space that you have to determine what kind of agricultural producer you'd like to become. This isn't really the venue for that. So if you'd like some support before you even reach out to an official coordinator, come into my unit in the replays and PDF, and you can get that link to go and join my community for free. And we can talk about all of that wonderful stuff over there.
Perfect. Thank you. No, that will be perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm also going to pop on here how to bookmark or save a post because it is almost impossible for the algorithms to locate individual posts because we basically have 24/7 activity throughout the Lesko Help 2 community. There's just too much to identify specifics. So you always want to make sure and bookmark or save any posts that you're going to want to be returning to over and over again. Now, the important questions of, are you comfortable getting into Lesko Help 2? And do you know what I mean when I tell you that the answer is in your notification bell? Oh, I hope you didn't leave. Are you still there, Natalia? If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, you're great.
So to enter into Lesko Help 2, I can do that easily. I did not see where you said to go to click.
Do you see my mouse moving in the upper right corner? Okay, now let's check really quick to see if you have a picture of yourself already or a generated picture.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So nice, very chic business presentation there. That's the picture that you're looking for. Are you coming on a phone, laptop, computer?
Yeah, my husband took my charger to work with him, so I'm on my cell phone because they died.
Sometimes you're on a laptop. On a computer or laptop, it's generally going to be in the upper right-hand corner. On a phone, more often it's down in the bottom right-hand corner. But just look at your corners for your pretty picture there. And right next to it, do you see where I'm circling?
Yes, I do.
That's your notification bell. Have you ever worked with Facebook?
Oh, yes.
It's very comparable, except it's better here because this is a dedicated space. Every single interaction that involves you, whether it's an overall communication to the community about an upcoming class or something, or it's a post that you've placed and somebody's answered it, or a comment that you've made and someone's replied, whatever the case, that's where you're going to see a timeline notification from the most recent back to about a month. And it's all about the overall community, like I said, those communications that we send to everyone, and then your interactions here in Lesko Help too. So it's a very much improved upon notification process.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Natalia. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and mute you there. And then Zoom user, I don't have a name for you. You're unmuted. Did you have a question for us for the evening? And if you're talking, we can't hear you. Zoom user, I don't know what to call you. I'm going to go ahead and mute you there. And then Denise Roberts, you unmuted yourself as well. Is there something that you are ready to ask of the group?
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you was referring to me, but since you already was able to recognize who I am, I was thinking of something because I know coming here, it's just so much information, but it's so valuable. And so there's always that moment when you're like, wow, I wish I just thought of that afterwards. But I was so interested in what you're talking about with the USDA, because I would like to put on a program that's geared toward it's like a rehab do ranch, and this rehab do ranch is really habilitating people to uh, become among in the agriculture community where they could heal through that. It's a
That's a
healing.
beautiful thing that is really kind of becoming a topic that's discussed, right?
Yeah.
My own is an educational pursuit inside agriculture. And so for my own state, what I was told, and again, my main contact has been the Natural Resources Conservation Service. They don't care about that educational part. They want to see the production, but it can be a low level of production so that I can still get assistance. Now, there's all types of different sorts of efforts throughout the agricultural world. So I haven't given up yet on finding something that is more geared towards both study as well as that educational element. I'm doing a little bit of both. I'm no scientist, so my studies would be very well supported by someone who is actually an official creator of studies for the government so that we could properly implement studies on my property as I'm putting all of these various different water retaining soil structures into a comparatively small property. When we're talking agriculture, like you said, you're generally talking acreage. This is under a quarter acre, right? So
Okay.
I have a super specialized approach that I'm looking through the lens of, but I have to be willing to look at my project through a different perspective to see if I can get assistance for what I'm doing. You're going to be in similar shoes. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly. Because there's a numerous of programs that I want to incorporate into the agriculture, not only just agriculture, with that land, how we could be able to produce on a level when it comes down to organic, teach these people on how to be able to produce organically and how to be able to create uh, herbs and things like that, fruits, and have a shop to build plant holders, things like that. So, but they also is rehabilitating people back into society.
Okay, so you're not talking, are you talking health? Are you talking incarceration? Are you talking both? Where
Well, a rehabilitating do ranch is really geared toward helping individual. Like, for example, say if I have like a farm uh, and growing vegetables for the restaurants. So I'm trying to incorporate work for these individuals
So
who
what I'm
can't
asking
see.
is, are you trying to rehabilitate people that have been injured or people that
Uh,
have been incarcerated?
well, it could be both, because some people who not able to sustain employment, maybe give them, they could be homeless
Okay. Okay.
and they just
So
need a place to stay.
that's also one of the problems I have with my own business. It's so broad. It's sometimes hard to work within some of their categories. So again, getting a coordinator. I have an SBDC mentor. I work with the SAA. I have spoken with Robin Sadler. I want to talk with a woman named Jennifer Hornberg. There are other agencies that I haven't even begun to explore yet. That's what people that are in shoes like you and I are in, we really need to try to reach out to as many different areas.
Okay.
And then if for yourself, I would definitely encourage you to get an SBDC mentor. That's my particular preferred mentorship program that's available in our country to everyone for free.
Okay, great. In fact, I'm in an incubator stage. Incubate.
Incubator.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing some research, see uh if this approach is something feasible, you know, and the location. So I'm really at the beginning stage, but before I take on that project, I want to wrap up the project that I'm currently on, and that's really focusing on recycling art.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna just love coming over to my community. You may decide you want to be a content creator.
Yeah, so I'm creating recycling art, and I'm trying to support these individuals and businesses, you know, to give them a platform so that they could be highlighted in such a way with their craft and with their business sense when it comes down to sustainability and recycle and upcycling.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me grab the other thing I'm looking for here. That's number 5. Okay, so let's go up to here really quickly. All right. We got some additional resources on here for you, definitely.
Yes, I got you had sent me some, I think last week, and I was trying to scroll down and book save it. And for some reason, I may have been on my mobile phone trying to do that. And it wasn't, I couldn't figure it out. So
instead of seeing that little 3-dot menu that we're directing you to at the top of your post, you need to look at the bottom right above the comments. So in a computer or laptop, you have your, and that's what the picture that's an example shows. You have your 3-dot menu at the top of your post most often. When you're on a phone, it's right around here, right above your comments. You don't want to get the 3-dot menus within the comments because that's about this comment itself. You want to get to the 3-dot menu in the post, either in the bottom, typically right-hand corner, or upper right-hand corner. And that might have been where we're having some difficulty.
Yeah, so I'm on the post, so I go to the notification, I see my name. And then when I see my name, click on to that notification.
That's going to pull up this, if that's what you're talking about. It'll say Sabrina Giesler, then Natalie Pack, HTTPS Gemini. That's what you'll see in the post that I just built with you here. That's the notification you're going to get in your notification bell, something like that.
Okay, okay. And then how to bookmark that?
You're going to, on a phone, look for the 3-dot menu at the bottom of the post, not in the comments, in the bottom of the post. On a laptop or computer, at the top of the post, once you locate it, you simply click that 3-dot menu and it'll be right there for you. Then once you are ready to retrieve that bookmark, you go up to that profile picture. Again, you're looking for your picture. Click that and you see it says bookmarks right here. Each device can be a little different. Click that. It's going to take you right to your bookmarks. When you're done with it, again, you just look for that same 3-dot menu and hit remove bookmark.
Okay, I think I hit a button by mistake. Okay, I didn't want to share the screen. Okay, now you're Sabrina, correct?
I am, Sabrina Giesler. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think you had helped me with my account. I think I was reaching out, trying to get back on. I was just, I felt like y'all just provided so much information. I felt a little lost at some point because I wasn't able to connect with the community. So I want to tell you thank you guys for everything you're doing.
Well, thank you for joining us. You had some excellent questions. I'm going to actually be able to help the whole community interested in agriculture because of your questions. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I love this community for that exact reason, because Matthew, as a business, he focuses so much on his members and what they want and what they need that we're just able to, we're empowered to any way we can reasonably help members find the happiness they need with their membership. And that makes us have such an amazing interaction level as a community, because we don't have to go through all these steps to get some good idea from a member all the way up to the people that make the decision, right? It's
Yes,
just
yes.
amazing. So thank you.
Yes. Now you also have mentioned in regards to if someone who's a member here with Lesko, they could also connect with you guys. Your
Just with me. The other people
okay.
handle their stuff the way they do. We're not allowed to offer help to members that we're going to charge for. Members aren't volunteers, staff. We don't do that. We're not offering for cost services. I'm
Okay.
just growing my community right now. I love the Let's Go Help community, and we already know how to interact with one another during these types of live Zoom meetings. And so I'm offering that free membership, and it's lifetime. You're never going to be charged for it as long as you
Well,
pay.
I would definitely like to get more information on how to get that, because like I said, I'm still in the incubator stage on the it's more like a do ranch rehab, where I want to start researching and getting more information on
So
how to approach
the
this.
biggest part for you is going to be getting an SBDC mentor and then a farming ranching coordinator. Those are your biggest
Okay.
concrete steps. However, you can get the grant and grant-like resource support here from us, and this is my specialty, in the Let's Go Help community about the grant and grant-like resources. Then you can come over and get the support about different growing practices, how to re-liven your soil, how to retain the soil from washing away, how to retain water, all these different things, as well as additional content that isn't exactly what we've been talking about here, but it's all geared towards that agricultural world and taking things back, like even maybe maintaining small appliances as a possible content creator from my next door neighbor, just an amazing individual. And so you'll get all of that as a part essentially of your Let's Go Help membership, but it'll keep going forever. I'm never going to kick those people out. And I have it set up so that you come in for free, and you'll just always have that membership for having been a Let's Go Help member. So just jump into my
Wow, that's
here.
great.
Yeah, it's a really nice benefit for
Yes.
those who are interested,
Mhm.
even in just like a little windowsill garden, right? It doesn't matter.
Yes,
I can walk you
exactly. And
through how to
I
set
think
that up.
that, yes, you are truly are
So just
just
jump
the
into my unit. I don't want to
beacon
talk
of
about it too much,
light.
right? I don't want to
Yeah,
talk about it too much
but
because
you're
it
the
is my
beacon of
business.
hope.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Natalia. That's so
So,
nice.
so
I feel that about Let's Go
okay.
Help, right? And so just jump into this
Yes,
unit right
and
now,
so
and
hopefully I get a
you'll see where
chance.
that free membership is. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Very welcome. All right, let's see. I don't think we have any other hands up, but it did look like maybe Zoom user. I saw your mic. Hello.
Hi.
How can we
Yes.
help you? And what
Is
shall
this
we
all
call you?
about agriculture? Is this
Uh,
all about agriculture?
It is. That's what this
Okay.
particular class is about.
I
Yes.
guess I got into the wrong one.
Oh, not a problem. We're winding down, and this isn't one of our topic-based spaces where we're going to have to kind of direct you to another open-ended question session. These are a little bit more lax. So what kind of question did you need answered? And I'm sorry,
Well,
what did you think we should call you?
I'm trying to start up a business,
Mhm.
and I need everything. But my business is for quadriplegics, like taking care of people.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I don't know if you have anything on that.
What I'm going to recommend for you is just what I was talking about with Natalia, and that's getting an SBDC mentor. And then we have that topic-based space where you can work step by step at looking for resources that you need. Okay, so I'm going to, I still didn't catch, what should we call you? What is your account under so I can tag you here?
My name is Charles
Hello, Charles. And your last name?
Watson.
WHWA.
WATSON.
I found you.
Okay.
All right. So
Yes.
let's get item number 5 out of the Let's Go Metagrants report. And I did forget to item number 5. Oh, wait, no. I'm getting you the step-by-step business. The new topic-based spaces that we have. One of those that has been released is the Start My Business space. And it doesn't matter if you are just starting as you are, or if you're well established, these steps will work for anyone. All right.
Okay.
And so it's the Start My Business space. And this little guide is going to walk you through how to make use of the Start My Business space. And we also have calls each week from our hosts, Michelle Cairns and Amber Hawkins. It will be Michelle Cairns' turn next week on Wednesday. And this is also going to get y'all set up with those calls. Okay?
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Do you have a time for that?
I do. Let me just read that off to you because everything is changing a little bit, even for the better. I loved it before. I love what we're doing just that much more going forward. And we're looking for the Start My Business call. That will be Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Mountain, 4:30 p.m. Central, and 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes, it is amazing, all the different opportunities that you all have.
So do I need to get funding first? Because I'm starting.
No, you really need to get an idea of what it is that you're actually doing. It sounds like you're a little bit like Natalia. You have your big vision, but you haven't started taking any of the steps. Would that be accurate?
Yes, I don't have a business. I've done that kind of work, but I don't have a business.
That's where you need that mentor to get you the help that you'll need, even when it's talking about caregiving. Anything that touches in that medical field, there's going to be a lot of stipulations that you need to make sure you're aware of and you're following, right?
Okay.
So definitely just start working this process. I don't want to distract you with anything else. I have resources specifically for medical professionals as well as for caregivers, and I want to get those in your hands. But first things first, you need to get that business mentor to help you make sure that you structure this the way you actually want it and can maintain it.
So I'm in Mountain Standard Time. So you said 3 or 3:30?
3:30, yeah.
Okay.
May I ask what part of Mountain Standard you're in?
I'm in Arizona.
I'm in Utah.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm actually a Colorado baby. I've lived in Arizona, Utah, Colorado, just not New Mexico, and all over the Western United States. But I'm a Four Corners baby, Cortez. Anybody around the Four Corners knows Cortez, so that's my little area there. Are you in the city? Are you in a rural area?
I'm in a place called Red Rock, out in the middle of the desert.
Oh, I've never gotten to go to Red Rocks.
Well, you gotta come visit.
Right? Oh my gosh, everybody from Cortez goes up there.
And the animals.
Beautiful, beautiful. Colorado is like my love, but I probably won't ever live there again. Utah's got this functioning economy that just really works, and well, I don't know, I might die in Utah, as scary as that is in my brain. Okay, so what I also want to provide here for you, though, is how to bookmark or save this post so that you can get back to it anytime that you want to. It can be very difficult for the algorithms to find an individual post you're looking for. And then, let's see, today's Thursday. Tomorrow, one of our hosts for the Start My Business calls, Amber Hawkins, also has an all about business class every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Tomorrow is her earliest class. That starts at, I want to say, 7 or 8:30 Pacific. Let's just check that out really quickly before I say it incorrectly. That is going to be tomorrow, everyone, at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 8:30 a.m. Mountain, 9:30 a.m. Central, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern. And she is excellent. She also has some later classes that might be a little more available. That is at Monday at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 2 o'clock p.m. Central, and 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And on Tuesday, it is at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock a.m. Mountain, 12 o'clock p.m. for Central, and 1 o'clock p.m. for Eastern. And then, yes, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I remembered what I wanted to say there.
So tomorrow is 7 o'clock in the morning for Mountain?
7:30 with 8:30 for Mountain.
Okay, that sounds good.
And then we also have every Thursday, Lesko Help presents Navigating the Nation's Funding with Megan P. And that's business, nonprofit, and kind of the overall grant world. Her main focus being nonprofit, but she has a lot of great business information as well. Wonderful, folks. Let's make sure we didn't have any other hands up there, and make sure also we do have a couple of more. I do apologize, folks. We're not going to have time for that. So I do want to make sure that you are comfortable getting your answers here, Charles, out of the teaching sessions. Do you have familiarity getting into Let's Go Help 2 and your notification bell?
No, I don't.
So you have an account. We see that here. Are you typically on a phone, a laptop, computer, tablet?
I'm at a phone right now.
Okay. So you generally will have used the Mighty Networks app, which is a black circle or square with Mighty written across it in lowercase, all very bold white writing. You can access it through your browser, but I know that you've signed up for Let's Go Help 2.
Okay.
Do you know how you got into Mighty Networks? Whether you would have used a browser, or do you have that Mighty app?
I don't remember what I did. I just did it.
Okay.
I'll figure it out next time.
Once you've figured out how to get in, you'll get emails almost certainly about the different classes and things that are going on. So keep an eye on your email and then pay attention to what happens when you come into the community, so you know if you're using a browser or the app. I think that an app might be better if you are using a browser. Probably just play with them both and see which variation you prefer on your phone. It is the best on a computer or laptop. I encourage you to enter the Let's Go laptop giveaway if you haven't already and you don't have a laptop or computer accessible. That's definitely going to increase your comfort and abilities in the grant world and the grant
Right.
world. So once you get into Let's Go Help 2, can you see where I'm circling with my mouse up here in the upper right-hand corner?
No, I can't see what
Some
you're
of
doing.
these pieces that might be covering it. Let's try that again. Can you see where I'm moving my mouse back and forth in the upper right-hand area there?
I cannot see anything but pictures.
A picture of me.
A few other, a dog and
Okay, so what you
few
want to
other
do is
people.
swipe left or right and see when you can see my screen.
Okay. I see your screen now.
Wonderful.
It's
Now, can you
really,
see where I'm circling in the upper right-hand corner with my mouse?
let me put on my glasses. Well, no, I don't have my glasses with me. But anyway,
Okay, let me try this. I'm going to make it really big.
okay.
Now, do you see where I'm circling in the upper right-hand corner? Moving back and forth. Upper right-hand corner. Do you see my face right here?
My right hand corner or your right hand corner?
It should be the same.
Okay. No, just 1 second. Let me see if my glasses are right here. Oh, here they are.
Great. That's so helpful, isn't it? I would be helpless.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see the screen now.
Okay, now see where I'm circling in the upper right
I
corner?
do. I do.
Okay, so your picture is a little different. It's a generated picture. I happen to notice it's really pretty red, like almost burgundies, oranges, into maybe a orangish yellow, kind of like rock looking. Let me just show you. It's a pretty picture anyway. We might as well see it. It's one of my favorites, actually, of the generated profile pictures. It's just really pretty. So you see this here?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're looking for until you change it to your own choice of a picture. This orangish, burgundy kind of color, really pretty. Look for that in the circle. On a phone, instead of being in the upper right-hand corner, many times it's in the lower right-hand corner, but just look in your corners until you find that picture. And right next to it is that notification bell. You see where I'm circling now?
Yes.
Click that, and that's going to be a timeline order, and it'll say something like, Sabrina, let's see if I can find, here you go. Maybe like this, Sabrina Giesler mentioned you in a comment, or it might say, Charles Watson, start my business, something, anything like that. It'll have my picture right there. You see my picture?
Yes.
Okay. Not myself right here, but my picture, right?
Yes.
Okay. You'll see that and then click that. It'll pull this post up. Let me make everything a little bit smaller again. Oh, I was in the wrong spot. Okay. Now, when you click that notification, it'll pull it up like this as a post, and you have the information about business right there in the post, and then just one comment on how to bookmark this post, because I really think going out and getting that business mentor and starting to structure what your business will look like and the restrictions, requirements, things like that that are required for a business like what you want to start, that's going to be a very, very important starting piece for you. And then once you've gotten that appointment set up, come back and let us know you're ready for some resources. But you also have resources in the step-by-step guide. That is the second step. So your first step is to join our calls in this little thing. But when you go to the second step, that is where you can start working to get an SBDC mentor. So you'll just click this link. It's going to pull up the Start My Business space. You're instantly going to be in the step-by-step guide. And that first step is walking you through making a business mentor meetup. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you feel like you have a way to start working right away? You're going to be comfortable getting in and getting that information, all that good stuff?
I'm not going to be comfortable with it, but my memory is kind of
but
bad.
do you feel like you can get to that point and start looking into it to see if you have an additional question?
Okay.
Does that sound good? I mean, do you have a step that you're ready to start where you feel like you're going to be able to get in there and get that information from me?
I'll probably have to ask you 2 or 3 times before I get it together.
Matthew says ask 1,000. We are here to answer your questions. All right.
All right.
Excellent. All right, everybody. So it is time to shut down class today. Amber's next class is in the early morning. It's our earliest class all week long, and that is going to be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Mountain, 9:30 p.m. Central, and 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see you all there. My next class with you will be on Monday, and that is going to be oh goodness, I can't even remember which. Oh, the Buy a Home call. I apologize. It's one of my new Zoom meetings that are scheduled. So every Monday. Go ahead.
What time is that on Monday?
Let me just double check. I was trying to recall. I think it's going to be at 3:30 for you and I, Charles, in Arizona, me in Utah, but let's make sure. Buy a Home. Yes, so it'll be at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Mountain, 4:30 p.m. Central, and 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And so there's going to be tons of wonderful classes in between. Hope you guys get a chance to join several of them. They're all a ton of fun and they're all very informative. And I will be back with you next week. Oh, and also look for me tomorrow. I'm going to do some random Lesko skill sets. I'm going to call the folks that I'm talking to you about in part. I am also going to call an expert for Lehigh City, which is another city a little down south from me, that a lot of the cities around here in the Salt Lake Valley area, it's outside of the Salt Lake Valley itself, but it's really close to it. They have an arborist who is a specialist, collegiate trained from the East Coast, where those of you over there know way better than I do how many more trees you guys have on that side of the country. And I will contact her and talk to her about how to deal with some of the problems I'm having with trees on my property. And then I am going to contact my county extension office and walk you guys through how to contact a county extension office and talk to them about any problem that you might be having on your rural or agricultural your rural or urban property. You can utilize your county extension office. You do not have to be an agricultural producer. If you're dealing with some sort of natural process on a piece of land, even if it's the smallest possible piece allowed in your area, it doesn't matter. The county extension office is there to help you, and they may even be able to help you with something like a container garden on your porch. It's not going to be a problem for you to reach out and give it a shot, and I bet you they have resources. So we're going to walk through at least those two. We may also call the farming and ranching coordinator that I've spoken to, but it's been maybe longer than 2 years. Robin Sadler, she's still the same position. She's still in that office. So I'm going to reach out to her as well. And I will talk to you about the text that I'm going to put together for the SAA in regards to seeing if their irrigation program assistance can work for my sprinkler, which, yes, will provide irrigation on my tiny little property compared to an agricultural acreage property. All right, so I hope to see you all with those. They're going to just be random. Just look for me to pull out the Zoom meeting, and you'll see a cute little AI generated image that says Lesko skill sets. It's like a burgundy kind of color with stars and hearts all over. It's really pretty. It looks like almost a theater sort of presentation. I really love what Gemini put together for me. And I really feel like this is going to be a valuable tool for you guys to model any calls you might make. Maybe you don't need to talk to the county extension officer. Maybe you need to talk to somebody in the community development area where you're looking to do something like repair a neighborhood's worth of properties for low and middle income people looking to buy a home. There are all sorts of different ways that you can take a phone call about one topic and turn it into a phone call for the topic that you're interested in. And we'll talk about that when we're doing all of that as well, how to take what I did and extrapolate that to the topics that you're interested in. All right, everyone. So I will be with you earlier than Monday if I'm able to make it happen. Bear with me. Not only are we making all these changes within Let's Go Help 2, but I am also buried quite literally as far as my property and figuratively as a person having to deal with about 2.5 to 3 tons worth of soils. So we're going to be busy over here on our little chunk of the world. Thank you, everybody. Please feel free to unmute yourselves and say good night. And I hope you all have a beautiful weekend.
Well, good night. And
Good
you have
night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, Sabrina. Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
Sabrina. Thank
night.
you.
Good night,
Have
Sabrina.
a wonderful one. Get out there in the dirt. I definitely will be. Bye, guys.